What is going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. The Brett man's right over here. The Chris the man is right down here. It's Beers with the Bros time. Long overdue. We've been waiting for a while to do this episode. We figured, what the hell, let's go ahead and knock it out. We've been tied up with all kinds of reviews and stuff with Rambo and now Saul and some other big projects coming up. So we've got a little bit of a delay in our Beers with the Bros episodes, but we're back in business now. We're going to be talking Midsommar today. So it's going to be a good time. If you're new to our channel and our show here, be sure to check out some of our other episodes to Beers. We'll post an episode over Bert's head right over there. So it's going to be a good time. How are you gents doing today?
I'm doing swell, man. Hey, Chris, how's it feel like being on the bottom? Well, I'm the top dog.
I'm a power bottom. It makes no difference to me, buddy. I'll take it in stride. I give it right back.
Hey, there you go.
We're just kicking things off to an explosive start here during our Midsommar discussions. But hey, since it is Beers with the Bros, what are you gents drinking today? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Well, I got work the next day, so I am just drinking a Route 44 Cherry Coke. I only drink on the big occasions, which we got a big occasion coming up.
Don't listen to a word that he says. That thing is absolutely full of Jameson. There's I saw him pour it in. There's maybe like this much ginger ale on top, but it's primarily Jameson. I think
I don't even think he opened up the ginger ale, dude. I think that was just for show. I think he went and then he acted like he poured it, but he didn't. I don't think he actually poured it.
I could buy that. It's 100% Jameson, just with a bunch of ice in there. The cool Sonic ice too, like the shred, whatever the fuck it's called.
The little pellets, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, do you know what it actually is, guys, gentlemen?
What is it?
You know that little weird weed-looking drink in Midsommar that they drink, kind of like that weird tea. It's that
the
tea.
pubic drink, yeah.
Well,
nice,
not the pubic. It's not the pubic drink. It's just a regular drink.
Oh.
That just makes you all relaxed, and you could dance for a bunch of hours. And,
and everything just kind of swirls around in the background, and the next thing you know, you're getting a push.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We'll be talking about the art of the push. But anyways, enough about my legendary drink. What are you boys drinking?
Well, I am drinking I don't even know what this shit is. Picked it up at the store the other day. This is a double IPA. And
he's just picking up random shit and drinking it. That's my boy.
Yeah, from Clown Shoes Brewing, which I'm not even sure where they're even out of. But I mean it's okay, but it's like 10%. And I also, for the record, have to work tomorrow. I'm just less responsible than you.
Right, you are, Ted. I'm in the same boat there. We are doing so over here on my end, we got a loaded land shark. These are not paid promotions, by the way, guys and gals. We're just out here. We're sharing our drinks with you guys. Of course, loaded land shark here for my Florida fans in the chat. I just learned about this week. It's going to be a land shark beverage with a shot of a rum in there. So it really takes you straight to the beach, just like that. And it's going to be a good time.
Straight rum, no flavor or anything?
No, just rum, man. Just a regular clear rum, the white rum.
God, man. I did get really sick on Ron Carlos one time. Yeah. I think I threw up into a paper cup or something, so hard pass.
If you're going to spew, man, spew in here. It's a new invention, so I've been looking forward to trying it out. It's not a new invention, but it's new to me. My friend recommended it to me. And I was like, you know what? I got to try it out tonight. And it's a good combination, guys and gals. I quite like it.
But anyway, check it out. I got a brand new invention.
No. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
Okay.
All right. So, you want to go ahead and get into this?
Absolutely.
All right. Let me just go over some casting and directing, and then we'll just go wherever the hell we want to go with it. Even though we're going to have to save the art of the push later on, we can't have our listeners and watchers, we can't give them the goods immediately. We got to make them work for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to kind of ease into that, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, Chris. So you behave yourself down there. So All right, guys. Well, this is Midsommar. That came out in 2009, which stars Florence
Wow,
Pugh.
I must have saw the remake in 2019.
I'm just
I
going to
love you.
pretend.
I love you, Brett. I'm so sorry,
If
dude.
you love me, you shut up for quite a
Okay,
second.
You're right. I'm gonna let it ride,
I'm the
dude.
daddy here. When we do skits, you're the daddy.
Okay, deal.
Okay, there we go. Just call me later. But here's the cast. We got Florence Pugh, we got Jack Rayner, we got William Jackson, Will Poulter. I'm not even going to begin to explain the other names because I will butcher the hell out of them. And of course, the director is obviously Ari Aster.
Absolutely. For the record, it did come out in 2019.
I did say
there.
2019.
You did not.
No, I literally did say 2019.
Okay, we'll see on the replay. But anyway,
Yeah,
anyway,
hey, guess what? If I'm right, I'm keeping this whole segment in there. If I'm wrong, this is deleted. Deleted.
no, you're gonna be right, and you're gonna owe me. We're gonna bet $5 on it. Yes.
Holy
See,
shit.
Okay. So next time you guys see the Brad Man. All right. Anyway, that was a $5 bill getting slapped. But anyway, yeah, you're right, Brett. This is a Ari Aster flick, his second one. This is coming off the heels of Hereditary. So we actually he has a limited series of movies thus far. It's the best way that I can phrase it.
Filmography.
Filmography. Yeah, there we go. It slipped my mind. But yeah, so he did Hereditary. We had a good time with that. That was fantastic. And then he came out with Midsommar here a couple years later.
I don't even want to begin to tell you all the other shit that he's made.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's all probably short films and stuff. Yeah, Brett?
We got like the Turtle's Head, we got Bayo, we got Casa Lavile. Like it's just madness, man. Let's just go with Hereditary and Midsommar as the ones he's made.
Are these all director credits, or is this like
Yeah, that director according to Letterboxd.
Wow.
Okay. Now, granted, these could be short flicks or something to those.
Yeah, I never heard his name before Hereditary.
I didn't either. That was definitely, to me, that was his debut, and of course he could have other credits in there that weren't mainstream by any stretch of the imagination. So I think that's probably the case. So I think, yeah, Hereditary to me was his debut. Obviously, that kind of gained a lot of popularity, and a lot of people really loved it. And it a lot of people were talking about it, and we saw that, we liked it, we had a good time. And then Midsommar came out. It's like, oh wow, what's all these freaking bright colors about in the trailer? Remember the trailer where it shows the girl with the dude with the yeah, it was weird. It was creepy.
I think I even remember the trailer.
I remember the trailer. I'm like, what in the hell is this movie? I'll like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was a wild trailer, and it didn't show much, so I give it credit for that. It didn't show much of the story or the plot or anything like that. It was just like, oh, we're going over here for for the summer, and it was very basic. But anyway, it was good, and it created interest for me. So I was excited to see this when it came out. Me and Chris actually saw this in theaters with the wives, and we had a good time. We ate popcorn and jalapenos that day, and
yeah, baby.
So it was fun, man. So what did you guys think? Did you see this one in theaters, Brett? I can't remember.
No, I watched this I believe like a year and a half ago on Amazon Prime. It was for free, and somebody has just been, I think, Brad, it was you that was actually pushing me. It's like, Brad or Brett, man, you should see Midsommar. Like, it's a really good flick. It'll be right up your alley. Fucking liar. No, seriously, like, you'll hear my thoughts about this movie. I really enjoyed this flick. Even on second watch with the director's cut, I even enjoyed it more. I just going to go with my usual complaint that it's fucking long.
Yeah, this one is pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, so I really like the director's cut's cool, but I'm just going to recommend just the regular cut's fine. I don't think you're missing too much.
So tell me about the director's cut, Brett, man. And Chris, I'm the only one of the group here that hasn't seen it yet. Have access to it finally. I've been looking for this thing for a long time. But what kind of stuff does that add for your enjoyment? And of course, we're going to be talking spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it, check it out first. But
yeah, so let me go with my usual spiel real quick. If you have not seen this movie, we are going to be talking spoilers. So pause this video, go watch Midsommar, theatrical or the director's cut. You pick your poison, and then come right back to this channel so you can hear our thoughts about this movie.
Right, you are. So what do y'all think about the director's cut? What kind of stuff did that add for enjoyment?
I think it's really just more of character development. This is the only thing that I can remember really that much about it.
No,
You get to
that's
see
what I was
more
going to go
with,
exactly, Chris. That's exactly what I was going to go with. So good call.
that, and I felt like it made you, and I mean, I can't remember Jack Rayner's his character's name, but I know,
Christian.
yeah, Christian. I know that like in the theatrical cut, obviously you know what happens to him in the end, and you kind of, I mean, he's an asshole through and through, even in the theatrical cut, you know. But he has maybe a few redeeming scenes, redeeming qualities here and there. But for the most part, whenever she sentences him to death at the end, you don't really give a damn.
Danny.
Yeah, Danny, Florence Pugh's character, and so I felt like in the director's cut, there's a few added scenes in there in the beginning before they go to Sweden that just make him seem like more of an asshole. So I feel like in the director's cut, you cared less that, you know, or you kind of rooted for her to be like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? That's one of the big things. There's the two big things that I took away. That, I mean, and you know, there's some more character development for Danny in there, but I don't remember there being like, there's not like an added torture scene or anything like that I recall.
No, the big one I noticed was kind of like the big altercation scene between Christian and Danny, right as like the group was trying to throw this kid into the damn water, kind of like as a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the big one that I noticed. It's like right after that, Christian and Danny got in a huge argument, and that was a nice scene that I really noticed that should have been in the theatrical cut. But everything else, yeah, as Chris said, it was like more character development. But I feel like what the theatrical cut did just did good enough for character development.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've heard about it. And again, I'm still looking forward to seeing it, but I've heard it really just adds to more. There's more character moments. There's more interactions between Danny and Christian. Just kind of more stuff building up the relationship or their failure thereof, for the most part. And just kind of, yeah, just digging a little bit more deeper into that. I think I have heard that about Christian being more of an asshole too, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty much in line with what I've heard about it. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he's unbearable in this movie. I'll tell you that for sure.
Oh my gosh, Bert, you did not.
I did, man. It's true.
He's very bearable, as a matter of fact. He's very bearable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he even became an asshole with his own bare hands.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got that right, my friend.
Yeah, he even got bare naked.
Oh, I see what you did.
Oh,
there.
for fuck's sake, fellas. I can barely stand this anymore. Can we go on to something else?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and talk about the art of the push?
No, not yet. We got to ease into this thing, man. That's not one of those things where.
Sorry, I'm a rusher, man. Let's just say I just try to push onto this conversation.
We have to
the limit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Push it to the limit.
But you know, we have to really ease, the viewers into this.
Okay,
we can't just rush in there. We got to drug them up with the flower drink there first before we really just cram it home.
And even feed them a PPK muffin or whatever they serve them.
Tasty.
I was going to lube it up, shove it in there inch by inch.
All right.
That's not from me. That's a quote from me, myself, and Irene.
I got
That's not. Yeah, I wasn't just making that up.
Okay, so
yeah, so let's go. Let's just go into this whole conversation, like to get to the art of the push, just very slowly. Let's talk about like the beginning of the movie. That's kind of like when Danny is just freaking about over her sister, like being all bipolar. I believe that's what it is.
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about the crazy ass opening this thing has, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, this thing freaking starts off to the max, man. No holds barred, and it just goes straight into this freaking atrocious looking scene of a suicide here. Actually, a murder suicide.
Dude, the fucking, sorry to interrupt you, but I was have to say that the whenever the camera follows the firefighters up the stairs and it comes in to show her sister there was disgusting. In the theater, I swear to God, I think I was even like winced and like turned the other way. I was like, this is disgusting.
Dude, it was rough, but the camera work there was fantastic. The way, like you said, like they chose to fire or follow the firefighters through the house.
Oh, and yeah, and they have like the whole high end of the orchestra, just like you building up the whole way. They're going up the stairs. Yeah, it was. It made my stomach turn for sure. So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
how far it
we're
is. Yeah.
as the audience, we're figuring this shit out at the same time the firefighters are on the scene there. Like it's like
Yeah, and Danny too.
yeah, and Danny as well, obviously, because she gets the call. And the way, oh my gosh, man, whenever she gets the call,
Yeah.
the performance that she throws out there, just off the bat, Florence Pugh is fantastic in this movie. But this scene in
Mhm.
particular, when she gets the bad news here,
Oh, yeah.
man, she goes all out, man.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
know, and you feel it too. It's like there's like times where you just know they're like really acting, and you can just see it. But this one, I'd really like believe that Florence Pugh was just like that actually happened to her in real life. Like you can feel her emotion and her cry of pain, and that and like it like gives me like chill bumps even thinking about it right now.
Oh,
Like
it was yeah.
yeah, that was her easily, in my opinion, her best acted thing in this movie.
And that's one thing
yeah.
we can see right off the bat that Ari Aster is good with, Ari Aster, is these kinds of scenes because Tony Collette did the exact same thing in Hereditary after
Oh
her.
god,
You know what I'm
where
talking
she
about?
should have won a fucking Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, it was up there. Like it was the same kind of performance, like the same. It just immediately pulls you into that world of dread that the characters are going through. And man, they both of them knocked out of the park. Florence Pugh and Tony Collette, but Florence actually freaking fantastic right there, man.
Oh yeah, and we can't forget that it opens with that creepy scroll, you know,
Mhm.
or it's not a scroll, but what I don't know what the fuck you call that, like you know what I'm talking about, the drawing or whatever that it opens with.
Oh
It's
yes,
word
yeah.
for it, but I
Yes.
can't remember. You know, so like right from the first frame, you're like, the fuck, you know what I mean? And now as we start talking about this, when you mentioned that, I don't remember the trailer exactly, but I do remember when we walked into to the theater, we both were talking about how we had no fucking idea what it was really going to be about.
Yeah,
So
100%. We had no
yeah,
idea. We just
so
Do
knew
we
they were
even
going to
still
Sweden.
know what the hell this movie was about?
Yeah,
so I mean, even though I can't remember the trailer, it must have done. You know, it did a pretty good job because I remember walking in there and was being like, "Oh, let's hope it's good," because I don't fucking know what's gonna happen. You know.
yeah. We knew it was Ari Aster. We knew there was flowers in the air, and that was pretty much the extent of what we saw in the trailer. It was good. It was a good trailer. But yeah, so we go through that horrific opening of this flick, immediately get pulled into the lowest of lows in your emotional index, and then we kind of meet the rest of the characters. We meet Jack Rayner's character there, Christian.
Yeah.
He's obviously Florence Pugh at this point, she's freaking out like the horrible situation here, and then she goes to Christian for support, and like even right off the bat, I mean he's there, but he's like, you kind of see that he's like, I don't know, right off the bat I feel like he kind of seems like he's just not 100% invested in this thing, and like that's probably his best moment of the film as far as being a supporting boyfriend, is this moment right after the situation with her sister. But it's still, even at that point, you can already tell that
It's like a half-hearted attempt to be comforting, where he's like, "Hey, I know your sister just fucking murdered your whole family, but
yeah,
I guess I'll give you a hug." You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like whatever. I mean, I know it's designed that way, but right from the get-go, you're like, "This guy's a shitheel," you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny too that his name is Christian and he's an asshole.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that
is,
is.
Bert.
Well, that's called irony.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, Bert, man. So what happens next here? Let's see. Let's think about it here for a second. We go into
We got through that, and then we got to the Christians going to a party, and Danny comes along with Christian, and they were talking about like going on to a trip, and Danny didn't know about it, which she's trying to make it a big deal about like, oh, like I just didn't know about it. Like I don't care if you actually go. I just wish you told me. And they got in a whole little mini argument and all that. And then Christian, then that's when he offers Danny to come along with them to the trip. And then that's when they got on the plane, and we got that nice transition from like Danny to go to the apartment bathroom to the airplane bathroom of her just having a mental breakdown.
yes.
Oh yeah, that panic. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
she's having the anxiety attack. Also, tip of the hat to Florence Pugh for that, which is pretty convincing there.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Also-
I mean, like it's this movie too, where she won me over, like being a huge fan of hers, like in her acting.
100%. Yeah, she really knocked this movie
Oh,
out of the
yeah.
park. I can't say that enough, and I'll continue to say that.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
this and Fighting with My Family. Those
Yeah,
are
she was
like my
good in
two
that.
favorites.
She was good in that. There's so up until this point though. Okay, first off, at this point we've met William Poulter. Okay, he's come aboard. He's kind of the kind of guy he's egging on Christian, right? He's like,
Mhm.
yeah, she can't come on this trip with us. What are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, she's calling you again. What the hell? Like all that kind of stuff, all that dialogue. And then
Yeah.
I will say there's some fantastic cinematography up until this point that we've gotten to. You mentioned the transition to the bathroom. That was awesome. But there's also one where they come in to one of their apartments and they're like, the camera just kind of focuses on the mirror or whatever, the TV. I think it was a TV, and the whole scene is like one take, shot in the reflection of the TV back at them. And I always thought that was kind of a cool shot, and and that just goes on for some time. And it's just what's the creepy little fella's name?
Freaking Pele. Yeah, Pelle.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, kudos to that guy because as creepy as he like slowly becomes, he's so like warm and inviting in the beginning of it. You know what I mean? He really sells it at the beginning. Whenever they're having that conversation, he's like, "Oh yeah, we do this and do that, and you come to my country." So I went full Mexican there. I don't know why. It was, you come to my country?
Yeah, man, it's Hefe. He just wants to see the product.
Yeah, my name is Jeff. But yeah, he's so like inviting, so I mean, honestly, if I was there and I was like, oh shit, dude, my whole family's dead, trying to like, clear my head out, and some foreign guy was like, hey man, you can come over to my country and we're gonna fucking party for like 3 weeks straight, I'd be like, sign me up, dude. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just like Rick and Morty, man. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah.
And you got to think too. This is coming off like having the asshole boyfriend Christian, and then like she's talking to this nice dude that's like actually like trying to get to know her and try to comfort her and try to So I always thought that was kind of a good contrast. And even though the dude gets extremely creepy here in a minute, but like at the moment, like this whole scene in the apartment is fantastic. Though I always thought the whole thing
from the invitation and that whole scene, I feel like he was very inviting, and even the like the inception of the festivities or whatever, like whenever you first get there, I mean, everyone obviously is kind of that way, but that dude really sold it. So I thought that was some pretty good acting on his part.
For sure.
Yeah, like like his evolution from like being like the nice comforting guy to like the, oh, hold up, we need to back away a couple of steps from him. Like that very good storytelling by Ari Aster, like directing wise.
He's like, yeah, you want to come party with me? And then suddenly he's trying to, finger me on the bed. Like, all right, chief. I thought I was just here to like have a good time and party. I don't know.
No, ladies and gentlemen, there was no fingering that took place in this film.
Yeah, I know. She's like, oh, just a second ago you were inviting me to come over here. Now you're trying to go Donald Trump on me. I mean, yeah. So.
Yeah. But anyways, before we get any more political in this, because we're not about being all political on this channel. So we get to that nice transition shot with the airplane. They arrive into the country, and then they go to like this really wrong turn. Like they literally took a wrong turn, I thought, into like this middle of nowhere, like to this nice field. And then that's when they decide, hey, let's get high. And then they just go on they just get on a major high trip. And just the effect, it's just kind of like the effects on that one was really cool.
It was, man. I will say, leading up to this point again, another cool little shot where you're driving in and the camera goes full upside down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I always thought that was kind of neat. Like shit's about to go upside down in your world.
Yeah,
and I think that's
turning your world upside down. Yeah,
100%.
But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a cool little shot. But then, like you said,
does it turn upside down? I think it's like showing the trees, and the camera's already upside down, and then as it pans up, it kind of folds over into. Fuck, I can't remember. I don't know. I thought it was upside down to begin with, and then it flipped over. But it could be the other way around. It doesn't matter.
I feel like it went, either way. The effects were cool. The scene was cool. The cinematography was cool. But like you said, Brett, after they get high, it was cool, man. Like the flowers and shit are moving around. William Poulter is over there freaking the fuck out. Like he's like,
dude, that's one of my favorite scenes. I mean, he really does a good job providing the comedic relief in there. Mm-hmm. But that one, whenever he freaks out, he's like, "What time is it?" You know what I mean? And it's just like,
it's like
In the morning?
Yeah, or no, yeah, not in the morning. No, 9 p.m. I was like, but the sun. What? Oh no, it's freaking fantastic. And of course, they did the great cinematography when Florence Pugh had to go out for a walk, and just like kind of like what would
Oh
you
yeah, she has
describe it
another
as?
panic
Like
attack there.
yeah, like I mean a major one too. Like it's kind of like the screen is getting all fuzzy, and like you could just like feel like you could feel like being kind of high, even though you're not high.
Yeah, there's like you're tripping because the effects are so subtle because there's like nothing in the foreground or that they're focused on that shifts at all. It's always like something that's out in the background that's like
Mm-hmm.
that's like shaken or colors are changing or something like that. You know what I mean? It kind of
Yeah.
like you're focused on the character, so it's like just in your periph that you can see it out there, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
effective way to creep you out. Did you pick up on that, Brad?
Yeah, I always like the way that all that stuff was fantastic. I did notice that it's like you won't even notice a lot of it the first time you watch it because it's not in your face, you know. Like you can see something's weird going on, but then it's like you really have to kind of pay attention to some of it. Like there's parts at the end that I've seen like pictures of and videos of from other sources that after watching this movie a few times I haven't picked up on it. So like it's very subtle and I like that decision.
Yeah, and another cool shot like during this whole sequence too is when Danny goes into the bathroom, like that dark bathroom, in which she turns on the light. If you really pay attention to the mirror, you actually see her sister right behind her.
Yeah, with the hose in her mouth again. Yeah,
Yeah,
I picked up
yeah,
on that
like
the
again,
first
like
time.
trying to like establish like the past is still with her,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I almost mouthed.
it really plays into the movie too. Like as we go later on, of kind of like what really the movie is about. And I thought that was just a really cool shot.
It
There's
was also
actually another time, maybe another one or two times when her sister pops up like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
we'll
every
get there
time I
to one
almost
particular scene
lost my fucking popcorn and jalapenos. Grow
on the
every
stick.
time. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Uh,
It's fucking-
jalapenos. It was
On the
kind of
stick.
it was,
Yeah.
it was kind of
You're absolutely right.
it was like the first time the mirror scene, like you just said, Brett, was so random. It almost reminded me of there's a scene in Hereditary. It was kind of the same thing, wherever Tony Collette sees her mom sitting there when she turns the lights on and she wasn't there. But it's kind of like a weird, like it didn't really fit the
Yes.
movie. You know what I mean? Like it was like it didn't really fit the movie because it's not really a haunted house situation. Like there's no ghost per se, but it's like it was like a random little scene where you're like, okay, there's the mom, you turn the lights. It's kind of the same thing here with the mirror thing. It was almost very random and it didn't really fit what was going on actually, but at the same
Well,
time it was creepy. I mean
I
it,
could
it
She was
defend it.
high
I
as a
could
fucking
defend it.
kite.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She was
okay,
high.
it does, but it doesn't the overall movie I feel like is more of like a fish out of water kind of like we're over here doing it and now we're getting into like paranormal almost kind of situation. But the high thing it makes sense with the stress, the traumatic incident of losing your sister. I mean, it makes sense here, but it's
Mhm.
still kind of not what this movie's going for at the end of the day. It's not really going for these kind of ghost scares. But it worked. It just reminded me of that scene from Hereditary.
Yeah, that's a good connection there. Like I guess that was just Ari Aster kind of like the directing
Yeah.
style.
And that's all I wanted to say is that I can kind of see a couple things between that scene and then like the way a couple of similarities between this and Hereditary is obviously like little scenes like that and then the way obviously like Tony Collette and Florence Pugh do the whole reaction thing after a loved
Mhm.
one meets their demise. But that's just sort of random little side pole thing that I just ran down. So we can get back to business now.
Alrighty, Chris. Anything else you want to establish right before we go into like when they actually get to the town, or not even a town, just a village?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was a wrong turn. I think it was just the field before they got to the town or whatever. They just kind of stopped off to because don't they meet Pella's brother? Yeah,
Yeah,
or
or
something like
like
that. Yeah.
like his very good buddy, yeah, brother, good buddy, and then and that buddy's two buddies.
Yeah, because they all take his acid or whatever. Remember, And she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it. And Christian's like, oh, fucking, I want to do it, but like she's
And we
being a
gotta do it
fucking-
together, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like she's being a fucking buzzkill over here, you know, like. And then she ends up doing it, and that's why that's when
She has the panic attack. Yeah.
But I
Um,
will. I think that the ghost of her sister, whatever, popping up. I mean, at the end of the day, I think as much as this movie is about everything else, at the end of the day, it's really a character driven, thing by Danny. It's really a character driven piece about her. It's all her journey. You know what I mean? So I think
yeah,
her,
and it makes sense. And it makes sense at
her
the
still
end
being
of the
haunted
movie.
by her past. So I think that's why her sister pops up every now and again.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would have
totally-
went that on the nose with it. Like I probably wouldn't have put her in there that many times, but I don't know. I was just throwing that out there.
No, I totally get it. And it makes sense more so here than it does in Hereditary, where it's just a random little kind of jump scare almost. But I still feel like it just kind of, I don't know, like it
Takes
it's-
take something away from it.
yeah, to an
Kinda.
extent. Like it makes sense for her character to I mean, it is a part of her character and it makes sense. But I almost feel like all this stuff with her sister almost takes a back burner. Like it takes a back seat to everything else going on.
Right. It's
And-
like why just throw her dead body in there every now and again if you're not gonna make it if you're gonna be that on the nose about it, why not like bring her more into the fray a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it could be a little bit more focused in the story. It's almost like you could almost take that whole thing out, that whole storyline
it's
out.
like
and the
I
movie
get what you're
doesn't-
saying.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
doesn't
bring
fit.
it on or fucking don't bring it up at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. But either way, I mean, it was creepy, and I liked it. I just it would have been cool to see a little bit more or less of it.
Right.
Yeah, like just you said it perfectly. Yeah, but they go into the village and they get this great music playing, which is what Brett was doing at my wedding. By the way, he was dressed, he was white on white, and he was playing this little violin thing as we're walking down. It was fantastic. It was really excellent. And
Dude,
I
that
remember that,
violin,
dude.
that little violin was a bitch to learn how to play.
Yeah, man. And you did it in what, it was like 3 weeks or something? Man, you're a crazy man.
Yeah, it didn't feel like 3 weeks. It felt like 2 years.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That's all right though. Whenever we named you May Queen and we threw you around around the little tree out there, it was all
Yeah,
worth it, right?
you almost threw me into the bride there, Brad.
yeah, I know, but it was worth it. We had a good time.
There's pictures exist, but anyways, we get to the village and we get introduced like to some of the I forgot what the main guy's name is.
Jeff?
But yeah,
Jeff.
we'll just call no, let's not call him Jeff. We're just gonna call him the main dude, like the main leader guy. And we get introduced to him, and he kind of explains what the village is like, what's going on, and all that. There's like this big old like, what would you even call it? Like a festival or?
Yes, the
Shit, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it's definitely a festival
It's
of
a
the
festival.
Midsommar. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. Like we get to meet a lot of new characters at this point. They're all kind of upbeat. They're all excited. It's midsummer time, I guess you could say. Yeah, I mean, it's just, okay. From right off the bat, though, once they get to this point, they come through there's like this weird opening they walk through, and the cinematography again.
Yeah, I
is
thought that was a good
fantastic.
shot.
It was like a giant. Oh wait, what are they talking about? There's some kind of like there's a funny bit whenever they're walking. What are they talking about?
Brett knows.
Is it Brett? You've seen it, the most recent. You know what they're talking about when they're walking in. Will Poulter has a pretty funny little line there. Whenever they're, you know what I'm talking about. They walk in and he's like, "What? There's fucking mosquitoes out here or something like that." It's like a bug or something like that.
Or something like that.
It's a funny line from Poulter, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, they walk through like a giant. It's like a half star, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
or a triangle, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and everybody's just like dancing around, having a good time. I mean, honestly, if I was like on an acid come down and I'm walking through there and seeing everybody dance, I'd be like, dude, I'm ready to fucking go. You know what I mean? It's like, where are the 40s? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll be ready to
40,
go.
man.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine if Winston was there right off the bat? There they walk in and he's like, we're a fucking party, man. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh
man.
my gosh.
And then they got showed into like their like little like sleeping area where they got pretty much sleep with everybody. I can't fucking do that. because like I would just get paranoid. Like I hear what's going on when I sleep. So like to hear that baby cry nonstop, I would like freaking take that baby, take it outside, and just punt the shit out of it. Okay, like I do not promote child endangerment. That's just me being facetious. But I was just not. Yeah, well, shit.
You might want to just cut that whole part out, dude.
Yeah, might as well. So, okay, but yeah. Anyways, I couldn't do it because I just like know what's going wrong with my surroundings. So I could not sleep. So I implore all those characters to sleep all together.
Yeah, I think it was a good time. I feel like at this point, correct me if I'm wrong there, Brett. I think from the point they walk in, they're doing a little music, and they walk in, they have a good celebration. Nothing really else of note happens until we get to the what's it called where he jumps off. You get
yeah.
Let's talk real quick about the lead up to this, because this is one of the things where I remember thinking like, okay, you're in there, that something is going to go wrong, right? Like you're waiting for like, oh, when is this going to turn?
Yeah, like it's too good.
Yeah. And I was totally convinced that it was going to be at the dinner. And also they have the dinner, the tables are in this weird alignment. And kind of in the background, you can see old Ruben's house down there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, old Ruben.
Yes.
You up for scuba, Ruben?
Yeah.
Scuba? My name is Ruben. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Along Came Polly. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But so you can see him in the background. So I was convinced that like, oh, somebody is like this old man and woman, they're just like about to get shot in the head or something wild is going to happen at the dinner table. Mm-hmm. So I was amazed whenever nothing happened. I was like, well, fuck, well, how's it going to go now? And then they get carted off, they're like, they take their drinks, or like the lady's like crying or whatever, and Pella has made that joke earlier about how like, birth through 18 is like your learning period, and then 18 through 36 or whatever it is like your
working,
and then 36 through whatever after that is this, and then at 74 whatever it is, you're like, oh
yeah, I thought like either 65 or 70, just somewhere around there.
Yeah, whatever. I'm really bad at math, so don't fucking ask me. It seems like every 18.
That's just you just gotta be old as hell.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, but at a certain age, even if you're like not ready to go, once you've reached that age, they're like, "Hey, buddy, the next festival that rolls around, you're the fuck out." So
it's time to go.
Yeah, it's like we don't have room for you here anymore, and you're at that age, so it's up on the rock for you, dude. So they fucking pick them up in the chairs, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And as soon as they got on top of that cliff, I was like, "This is it, dude." Nothing has ever been more clear to me in all my life that they're gonna push these motherfuckers off. I never thought that they would jump themselves, but I was like, they're just gonna take them up and they're gonna throw them out. They're gonna throw them right out.
Like they get one push in their youth, like maybe around the 18 to 25 period, and then once they're older, they get another push, a different separate push.
Yeah, buddy, much less enjoyable. I mean, I don't know how they look at it, but yeah, I thought that was going to be like they were going to be like, hey, they're just going to fucking toss them off the side.
Well, the way they explained it, though, it's kind of like instead of just like like just getting older, just being in pain and being miserable, just go out like that.
That old man with a beard was still ready to party. That old lady, did you see her?
I know he kind of looked like Blue's old brother.
Who?
Blue from Old School.
Old School, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, tying the rope to the penis and they fall. And like,
yeah. I think that he actually screamed that. They had to cut it out. It was a big part of the production that Ari Aster was like, how the fuck am I going to cut out the fact that he screamed, "You're my boy, Blue," as he was jumping off the cliff. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Oh, he was ready to party. Old lady, still ready to bang.
Oh yeah,
no
bang,
trouble. Dude.
Bang, baggity bang, and the bang, bang, baggity bang,
baggity bang, bang. I think that
this beer's so bad.
What's it called? The Astopia, Atopia.
Now you're just making up words.
No, there was a word for it when they have this whole ceremony when they jump off. It's just
I don't know. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just worried about those two old people. Like, I thought they were just like getting on top of the rock and they were going to bring out like a little lion cup and just go, Savannah.
at Stupa. Yeah, that's it. Hold on.
Okay.
At a Stupa. Yeah, that's the one. Is the
What
name
is
given
that?
to a
At
number
the
of
stoop. I think
yeah.
that's just how people refer to themselves, like in big cities.
At
the stoop.
at Stupa, Ate Stupa is a name given to a number of disciples in Sweden, Norway, and Iceland. The name supposedly denotes sites where ritual genocide took place during Nordic prehistoric times, where elderly people threw themselves off or were thrown to their deaths. So I think that's probably what we're talking about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because that's exactly what the hell happened.
Yeah,
this could also be a good time to note that most of the traditions and all the crazy shit that we see in here are mostly predicated on real life,
yes.
either past or present rituals that either cults or some religions actually carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what makes it a little bit more interesting. Whenever, because so that's one thing Ari Aster did say. I did listen to a lot of stuff when this came out because I like Ari Aster. He's a nice guy, and I think he means well. He did a lot of research on this shit. Whenever he made the movie, like he did, and a lot of the stuff, like you said, Chris, is right, is spot on. A lot of the stuff is accurate, stuff that actually did happen. Some of it's a little bit, pushed to the limit, but at the same time, that he did take some real life shit and he put it in this movie, which I think makes it a little bit more creepy, and I think it makes him a better filmmaker for doing so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot that went into it. After we watched it, I did a bunch of the research on it and stuff, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like the people fucking did this shit. Yeah. So yeah, that stuff. That a boy, get a big old swig of that Jameson.
Yeah,
My man,
yeah, boy,
my man.
Come on. Yeah. And so that was but them carrying the carrying the guy and the chick up there, and the guy was the dude or the chick that doesn't make it. Oh yeah.
Oh no, the chick jumped first, and she kind of like did like a fallen angel.
Yeah, buddy.
Just instantly died. And then when the old man did it, he just did so damn stupid. Just literally just jumped, landed feet first.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
He acted like he was jumping off the damn high dive at the freaking.
It's almost like he wasn't even trying to die. You know what I mean?
He's like, I'm going to make it, damn it, and I'm not going to have my legs anymore, but I'm still going to go to those parties, and I'm still going to get those muffins.
Yeah,
man, they have a backup plan when it came to that.
Yeah, I was about to say, little did he know that they had a fucking. I don't even know what you call that thing, dude.
I call it a giant wooden hammer.
I think that's accurate, dude. It's like a bongo taped to the end of a stick, dude, and they just like crush his skull in. And I will say the only effect in the whole movie that I really had a problem with was that guy's jump off there, because it is fucking choppy as hell. When he jumps off there, it you can see it's like, I'm sorry. I love the movie and I forgive it. I feel like it was like the last effect in there, and they were looking at him and they were like, boss, we're out of money, dude. And he was like, fucking pull up paint 95. You got windows, you got paint 95, fucking pull it up. Let's do it real quick. This will be a 1 second shot, and it looks like it. So I think it was like the last effect shot they had. But
it's probably like when you edited the Pennywise skit and you realized that we didn't shoot all the scenes we needed to. You're like,
there's a very large gap of time here, fellas.
Yeah. Fuck. Like, but
that was something that was I had a qualm with, but nevertheless, both but you know what though, it's so strange to me that's why I think that, because it looks so shitty, but yet when the chick jumps off, like they do a close up of her face like smashing off of the rock.
Yeah.
Right. And it looks amazing. And then the guy jumps and you're like, well, fuck.
And then
when the guy jumped, like, did we get like a far like shot, like we're so far away, and then we actually just see like everything like in him just like jumping, and we see the whole crowd's like back, like watching. I'm trying to remember that particular camera shot because I thought it was very well done.
With the dude jumping or the girl?
I think just when the dude was jumping, because the girl we got the close up with it, but the dude I felt like we got we were further back.
Well, see, they did it right because when the chick jumps, she jumps and then kind of just like free falls, and then they cut
but the
to
camera
close
follows
up.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they cut to the close up. When the guy jumps, yeah, it's a wide shot out back, and he jumps, and it's all one one
continuous shot. You actually see
it's
him
one
like freaking make
right.
contact.
Yeah, but it's just that the CGI of him jump, because obviously he didn't really jump off of anything.
Maybe he
it
did.
just
He
looks
was
like
older.
yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. Could have. Yeah, they might have sacrificed
But
him for the good of the movie. But also,
but the beating he freaking took with that wooden mallet or hammer.
Now that shit was good, man.
That
was
shit
good
was
effects.
That was good. Yeah, that was great effects. But like to me,
I-
the best effect of the movie.
I retract what I said earlier. I think it was probably, boss, we've got maybe $50 left, and of course, obviously, it's more than that. I'm just saying for reference, we have $50 left.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to spend it on making the jump look good, or making his head being bashed in good? And Ari Aster was like,
"Gotta go with the head.
Paint 95 the jump, and give me everything you've got on the bashing the skull in."
You know what it looks like to me?
Which honestly,
first?
I would have been like, bash his fucking head in, you know, like
they actually brought Jack Nicholson in to bash his fucking brains in.
Oh my gosh,
Wendy.
But do you know what? Like at first, when I first saw this thing, I thought literally like the head was like a watermelon.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah. Let me tell you, fellas, I've got
Chris
something
can-
good coming your way.
If Chris could fucking aim, but
Chris can fuck it. Listen, don't be telling my personal watermelon stories on here. People are gonna see this, dude.
That's going to be another like live stream we're going to do with behind the scenes work of that project. But let's go with the story. After all the characters saw that crazy debacle, what's the weird guy's name? Freaking
Jeff.
No, not Jeff. Palais. Pele's brother and his like two buddies, they were freaking the hell out. Like, there's like, oh no, it's just part of tradition. It's like, no, that is not tradition. That is.
Yeah,
they were just freaking. Oh, they were freaking out, and Danny was freaking out too. Like, oh, and that's when we get the second shot of her sister too on the rock.
I was gonna say, on the rock right there when she looks right before the girl jumps first, you see her sister there again, and once
which
again,
makes sense because death
totally
happened.
sells it.
That's where death happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was about to mention, like you said, Chris, the scene there when the girl jumps and you get Florence Pugh's reaction to it, where she grabs Christian's hand and she just totally freaks out. Another fantastic performance from her right there, and it was awesome, man. And then just the chaos. I loved it. Like the scenes of the people jumping were fantastic, of course. Like that was scary, but the reactions that we get from the crowd is really what kind of draws you into this. Florence Pugh, and then the one girl leaves. She's like, "I'm out of here. Let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. We got to bounce." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." The reactions were very genuine, I think, and that was just it really sucks you in as the audience member into this moment.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys this question just real quick, okay? Let's just say, for instance, I take you guys to a party, okay?
Okay.
We're drinking, we're having a good time. Jameson galore, all the loaded land sharks you can handle, okay?
Okay.
And anything on planet Earth besides this fucking IPA. We're there, okay? We're partying. Someone jumps off of the house that we're partying at, okay? We're on the back porch, okay? There's a little fire going. We're hanging out at this fire. Someone jumps off of the house, arms out like this, screams some kind of call before they jump, face first. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So someone spreads out their arms, jumps flat out, arms spread, smashes onto the concrete. Is this the moment where you guys are like, "Check, please. I got to get the fuck out of here"? Or are you like, "Wow, man, this is really interesting stuff"?
I think
No,
I
dude,
played it.
I ain't getting the fuck.
Yeah,
out.
I'm getting the fuck out of there. Yeah, dude.
Like somebody died. Like I'll probably call 911 and say, "Hey, somebody just died," and then I'm just out of there because that would ruin my fucking night.
I wouldn't mind to stick around and see how things play out.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
of
would.
course. Yeah,
You'll
you
probably
would.
just drink your beer and just sit in the corner going,
Yeah, I think you might even say out loud, I'm just gonna chill and see how this plays out.
or no, Brad would probably go, "Holy Shinto."
And maybe. Holy shit.
His name was Jeff.
But man, but no, at the end of the day, guys, like just that scene was just so damn tense. And again, Florence Pugh just stole the show with her reaction because that's kind of like how what she was reacting is kind of like how we were reacting. So we were kind of like going through everything as they're going through stuff, and just again beautifully directed. And that was probably the most highlighted, or probably the second highlighted scene in this. Actually, I don't know. We might have to talk about that, for the top 3 scenes in the movie of what would be the best one.
Well, it's definitely going to be the push, yeah.
Well, we're getting.
This is probably a close number 2, though. And I do want to say that it's this is a more reinforcement whenever she's like, "Oh God, this is so freaky," and Christian's just like, "Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, bro. Can you let go of my arm now?" You know, it's like once again, like, man, this guy's a fucking asshole, man. You got Florence Pugh fucking pulling on your sleeve, buddy. You better do something, you know, like.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and the motherfucker forgot her birthday.
Ah, what an asshole! What an idiot!
Yeah, and then he caught on to his bullshit, too.
He did. So that's pretty much the next thing. After this point, after the jump scene, the atonement or whatever, what's it called? This estupa, whatever it was called. They go on and we have
they go back to the village.
Christian's like, "Hey, I'm gonna steal your paper, bro." He's like, "I'm gonna do your damn."
Oh yeah,
that was,
further
that was
reinforcement that he is a douchebag to even his own friends. Like you hate him already because he's a shit boyfriend, and then you see this. But also, I think that there's a clear, marked transition of when the two people jump, and then you can tell like, okay, this is a big transition in the story. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, you know, like from this moment forward, that nothing's going to be the same. I mean, even the way you're viewing the movie isn't going to be the same. The characters aren't the same. So it really kind of speeds things up after that, I think. So there's a big transition there.
Most definitely. That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually, because it does take things to that next level at that point, even for not only the audience, but for the characters themselves in those positions. Yeah.
Because now they're acutely aware that like, oh, there's shit's fucked up here. This is not a normal,
environment.
Yeah, they're fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then again, we were getting at, Josh was going to write a paper about all this. There's Christian being an asshole going like, "Hey, I'm going to write a paper on this too. Do you want to work together?" Oh, dude, the freaking nards Christian had to ask that. Like, "Hey, do you want to work on it together?" I was like, "Dude, dude, you know, the whole time I was going to write a paper on this, and now you're stealing my idea."
Yeah, no, bro. I don't want to write a paper with you. I was already writing a paper. You go do your own topic. I'm going to write about this topic. So just fuck right on off, he said.
Yeah, I know it. And that's when Josh was trying to read ones that take a freaking picture of the book. And they're like, "No, you will not take picture of the book."
Oh, yeah. That was a bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah, and then we learned. And then what about that ugly mother fricker? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that
Lubin, dude.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah, it's Ruben Pfeffer.
Pfeffer, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God,
you have a scuba, Lubin?
What was his purpose in the movie?
It's good size. It's good size.
Yeah. We were scuba and perhaps have sex between the three of us.
Oh. But what was his purpose in the movie anyway? I just never understood that.
Yeah,
is it just for him to look ugly, or
now that's the dude I was talking about in the trailer. That's he was the main, like the trailer is like selling this guy, and he was the whole scene he had in the trailer was the whole scene he had in the movie. It was very
it's 2 scenes in the movie, maybe 30 seconds of screen time, and this whenever Josh goes in there to take the picture. Well, I think they tell him no pictures, and then he asks and I could be wrong about this, like it's been a while. He goes in to take the picture, and then he requests that someone come back and like tell him about something, or does that happen all at once?
Or kind of like a translation or something.
Because
like
at
that.
some
Something
point,
like that.
At some point or another, right after that, Will Poulter goes out and he pisses on the fucking dead tree, right? All the people
Oh
are
my
there, the dead
God.
tree. And then that's when everyone freaks out. So
No, that
like
one guy freaks out, like, no! Dude,
Yeah,
like
and
a
then he's
Dr.
like-
Samuel Loomis going, no!
Pella's like, oh my goodness, all of our ancestors are buried next to this tree, you know? And then Josh goes in there and the guy's like, this is the book of how we interpret our rituals. Heyo. And it's nothing but a bunch of drawings. And he's like, well, who does these? And he's like, Reuben. And so when Josh turns around, it's very clear that Reuben is not all there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in the Harga, that's their name, right? That's what they call themselves, the Harga.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much stuff I just didn't quite understand. I just tried to go with it.
So in the Harga's mind, he is, they call unhindered by the world or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Like they say that he's free to take in the light or the spirits or whatever that might be, and then basically, but essentially, Josh can, and then the guy's like, we take the pages and we interpret them, and then Josh essentially is like, holy shit, dude, this fucking guy over here, he's just like putting crayon to fucking paper and spinning in circles, and the guy's like, and we interpret, and he's like, and you just interpret it? Well, he's like, what happens if Reuben dies? And he's like, oh, we'll just force 2 other family members to have sex so that we can produce another one. You know what I mean? Just laughing and smiling.
Success.
Yeah. Great success.
But no, if Josh tries to get greedy, then that's when he gets the freaking hit in the back of the head and he freaking dies.
But let's not forget what happens before then, because Will Poulter's character is the first one. I think after he pisses on the pole or whatever, right? They are like,
the cemetery tree or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, the dead tree, whatever, ancestral tree, and so they're at dinner later, right? And he gets up to go leave. Am I right about that? I can't remember.
Because this girl just keeps on giving him like the look, going like.
Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah,
that he's go. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's about to go full Apache. Jump on it. And so,
bow, 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 boom, 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 boom.
Jump on it.
Obviously, that has to be the intro, if there is one. And so I think he gets up and he doesn't come back, but everyone else gets freaked out. And then I think right before this, also we have to go back to the Pella gets all freakish with Danny, and he's like, "I'm so glad you came here. This is your home now." And he's like, rubbing her leg, and she's like, "Dude, I just had an anxiety attack like 30 fucking seconds ago. And that's about the 50th one I've had since I've been here. My whole family's dead, dude. Could you not?"
Yeah, he even said it's like my family died too. It's like, but that's different. I'm like, well, and also,
there's also a nod to something there that we'll get to at the end. But excuse me. And so Will Poulter's gone. And by the time Josh gets there late that night, he sneaks out to go take the picture, right? And then, of course, that's whenever you knew, like, it went into, like, these people are kind of fucked up to, like, they're murderous psychopaths, because whenever the guy turns around, it's Will Poulter's face. Someone's wearing his face to kill Josh.
Yes, that's right.
Remember?
And that was a good scene too, man. Like, it was dark, it was lit and everything. Like, I thought that was fantastic. And yeah, the effects with the Will Poulter face was fantastic right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Fucking loved it. And so that takes a big turn, and then we go from level 100 and we kick it back down a notch. And I can't remember what is the, help me out here, Bert. What is the next scene after that? I know they transition, and the next day
the next day, like, the book has gone missing, and they think one of the Americans stole it, and then I think you were thinking the whole time that Christian stole it. I think that was I think that was the idea.
So they could blame it on him. And at some point or another, I think there's another couple with him too, right? And they're like, we're fucking leaving.
Yeah, like the girl was going to leave, but then like it was saying like her boyfriend left like in the car to drive off.
Yeah, and then
like,
but
she's
they told him like, oh well,
that.
Yeah, but then they tell the rest of the crew like, oh well, Pella or not Pella, but one of the guys like, oh, drove them both to the station, train station to give them a ride home.
You know that was full of shit.
I'm sorry. We should have thrown that in there because that's also like a subtle thing that's happening like around then, right after the people jump. Those people the other two characters try to leave, and you kind of know from that point like, oh, okay, well they're obviously lying to the rest of them, you know. And then the Will Poulter and Josh thing happened, and you're like, hey, man. And shit just got kicked up to level 10.
At that point, it pretty much jumps to the whole ordeal the next day, right? The big ass dinner they were doing and everything. Like,
yeah, buddy.
Is it the dance party?
Dinner.
The dance party's a part of it. Yeah, it all kind of comes into that. They're all sitting there.
Don't they take
the muffin thing already happened? That was before Will Poulter pissed on the tree, but that was another little subtle thing.
Oh yeah, the pea muffin.
Yeah, that happened back then. But then, like after all the stuff we just talked about, we get to like the last day, if you will, like where things are starting to kind of transpire, and like we have missing people, and they're trying to figure out where they went. They all think Will Poulter went to go with this lady who's been kind of talking to him, and it's like it's just that's kind of how things are transpiring at this point. And we get this dinner, and the May Queen dance is coming up at this point. Yes.
Yeah, drink like that weed tea or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I thought I enjoyed the whole dancing scene. Like it was very unique, and just again with this movie, it's just shot so damn beautifully. Like it was bright, it was colorful.
She chugs the drink, if you will, that malt liquor drink, and whatever it is that she's got in that cup, and they dance around that fucking tree.
Yeah,
you can see right down tree. Here. Yeah, whatever this thing is right over here.
Yeah, kind of like my picture right there. If you
over here,
it's my stupid over lighting there. Or whatever. Yeah.
Sorry.
Besides the point.
I can't make my shit out. That beer's too strong. They dance around the pole for how long? I mean, they skip through there, but obviously it's a very long time. And do we think that they gave Florence Pugh the win on this one, or do you think that she actually
in a way I felt like it was kind of intentional. I felt like they knew they had something with Danny and they just wanted to explore it more. And I think for certain they're like, okay, this has got to be like the next like
this is
I would call it like a chosen one type deal, but like it was just something along those lines.
She's the Neo in this story, buddy. Yeah, I think like they kind of knew that she is
special,
vulnerable enough, to fall into this. I will say, in the midst of all this, I can't remember if it's never mind. It's coming up in a minute, so
we're about to get there.
No, dude, I wasn't talking about that. I was thinking about a different scene, but when is the scene? There's like that's later too. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, dude. Cut all this shit out. I'm just fucking up. Okay.
No, it's okay. We're getting excited, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're at the point now where we can start talking about all this good stuff. Okay, she's dancing around the pole. That goes on for some time. Christian's over there getting fucked up on this tea shit. That he's over there. He's watching the dance, but at the same time, he's also like,
he's just staring at that redheaded girl of Majay or thing is. Yeah, Majay.
Her name was Majay.
Or Maja. I can't pronounce shit.
Maja.
We'll just call her Maja.
Maya.
Yeah, Maja is just giving pretty much Christensen the look throughout the entire film.
Perhaps it's a light. Yes. Perhaps it's a light J and it's Maya. I don't know, but she's been eyeballing this guy the whole time, and the whole crew knows it, right? The whole Harga, whatever the fuck they're called. The whole town
Mhm.
knows it. Okay, she is bound, right? To
Yeah.
pop on that thing, and she's been giving him the eye this whole time. So they are absolutely feeding him this weed tea that you've been calling it, whatever it is. Really, it's a flower drink. You know what it is? It's probably fucking ayahuasca tea. That's what it's. That's what it's got to be, buddy. Open. So he's sitting there, and they're like,
See, Brad's chugging some right now, but
Danny just gets named May Queen. She's sitting at the end of the table, right? And he can't even keep his shit together. And this is where the subtlety of the effects kind of wears off a little bit. It really starts to take hold right here. If you really pay attention, like when he's looking down at Danny, like the trees in the back are just like, it looks like a bunch of snakes back there, dude. And
yeah, he even like looks at the guy right beside him, going like, "What's going on?" And the guy just does that and just
claps on him, and he's like, "What? Why would you do that?" You know, it's like it fucking rocked this whole world for this guy to give applause, you know. And so he is fucked up, and so they kind of plot this path for him. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he turns around, and that Maya, I think it's probably Maya. I don't know why. And she gets up, kind of gives him the wink, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Gives him. She gives him the wink, and that's when Danny has to go to like to a different part and like do kind of like a planting of the tree or like the harvest, like celebrating the harvest season.
Yeah, she has to accidentally on purpose. You know what I mean? Be transported on the carriage or whatever, and the whole time, you know, she's still pretty fucked up too. She, you know, and I love this. Another great nod to Florence Pugh, where she's just like in a state of like constant sadness during this whole time, where she's just like frowning the whole way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they take her to a place. What do they put in there? It's like rotten meat and a couple of eggs. You know what I'm talking about? When they bury that shit in the ground.
Yeah, and like it's something weird, but pretty much the only reason for it is just to get her away from Christian.
Yeah,
and then where Christian and Maya can just go to Pleasure Town.
You got it, buddy. And
I'm telling you, we're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. We get to finally talk about the art of the push.
And so he gets, you know, they set out a path basically for him, and he follows that path. Right, and he walks in.
Who would not follow that path? If you ask me.
And I love how he's so fucked up when he gets in there, and he's terrified. Right, he's like, "Oh my god!" He walks in, and then there's Maya, whatever her name is. We're just gonna call her Lady M, okay?
Or redheaded girl.
Sure. And she's in there, fully nude. She parts the seas, welcoming, right? Mm-hmm. Welcome right on in. And that's great. Okay. She's on a bed of flowers. She's playing the whole thing out. What a sweetheart, you know.
So romantic.
For all intents and purposes. What a sweetheart. But what's not that great? There's a whole fucking tribe of other chicks in there. So he's walking in and he sees this welcoming, you know, opening, if you will. And he's looking down, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like the drugs really kick in a second notch, and he looks up, and he's like, why's your whole fucking family here? You know what I mean? Which is exactly what I would be thinking, even if I was on mushrooms. And I walked into the room and be like, you know, I'm cool with whatever, dude. You know what I mean? But why does your mom and all her sisters have to be in here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, all nude, ladies and gentlemen, like just bare ass naked.
Right, but the one lady walks over and kind of gives him the smack on the ass that he needs. Like, come on, you can get in there. You know what I mean? And he's just like, I love Jack Rayner in this too, man. Because there's like, you know, Ari Aster's like, look more surprised, you know, don't know what's going on. Like, I can imagine the direction in there. But they were probably like, eat mushrooms before you come to set. And so he gets in there and he's like terrified the whole way through. You know what I mean? And so he climbs down this young girl, and she's just like, come on in, the water feels fine, you know. And he's terrified, but you know, he settles in, And he's there, man. You know what I mean? He's there. He's present. He's having this beautiful moment. And then he gets a little bit of help. You know what I mean? There's no other way to say it. And I've longed
like
for
he
this.
was getting all tired out.
Yeah, I've longed for this my entire adult life. Just to get a little bit of help from somebody on the back end. They're not sure that he's really, that his thrusts are 100% meaningful. You know what I mean? So, Aunt Edna, we're going to call her, has to get back there and right, has to just give him a little bit of a boost,
or what we call the art of the push.
Right. And yeah, so Aunt Edna's in there, and the ladies all start moaning with her, right? Kind of like in unison, and it's like there's this weird group mentality, that they all have, that I'm going to bring back up here in a second. And it's like this weird group mentality. So they're all like, oh, like they're feeling pleasure, with her. And, Jack Rayner's like, I think he picks up somewhere in there and he's like, this isn't about me. They just need a dick. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here to provide, but I'm cool with that, and so he's there. And also think that like they can see that he's a little put off by this whole thing. So like, we cannot under no circumstance can we let this man pull out. You know what I mean? So I think that's another reason for the push. You know what I mean? Just to get in there, just to make sure, like, they're like, oh, Edna, don't you dare let him pull out. You know what I mean? Don't you dare let him pull out. And so that whole thing happens, and I think that he really gets the biggest dose of post-nut clarity that anyone's ever had. And during all this, of course, we, that post-coitus feeling whenever you're like, that was awesome. And then simultaneously, like within a split second, you're like, Jesus Christ, what have I done?
Yeah, literally.
What have I done? Which
man,
I'm saying, this is going to be a stain on my conscience for probably all of eternity. But
she's like, if in the redheaded girl, it's like, I feel the baby in me. I feel it. Like,
oh yeah, dude. Like, I think before he even pops, dude, she's like, yeah, I want a baby. And he's like, oh, there's no turning back now. This lady, Aunt Edna, will never let me fucking pull out. You know what I mean? And then this whole time, Danny gets to walk in there and she's like, and it's always strange to me. I understand that this is a big moment for her to see this, like a physical form of Christian being a piece of shit. But I think like she had to know, you know what I mean? Like she shouldn't have been that surprised. But nevertheless, it breaks her heart. And let's not forget, man, she's on the tee as well, right? She's fucked up also. So she runs out and she cries. So Christian pops and he gets that really refined post-nut clarity and he fucking runs out the door completely naked. So huge kudos to Jack Rayner for
wanting to shoot that scene.
Yeah, for actually being able to shoot that scene and running outside. And good looking dick though, I gotta say, for the guy. I mean, I wouldn't have been that embarrassed about running out either. I mean, fine looking.
He was swinging around, dude. Like,
buddy. Good on you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Good on you, man.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, and he just takes
it's not
off.
like that dude from Scary Movie going like, the showers they turned the showers cold.
Oh yeah, it was cold that night. So he takes off running, and I don't know what else we see. I think we go back to Danny.
Well, he runs. I think to the tree, and that's where he discovers he discovers everything. Like goes to the hen house, goes towards the tree, and you saw the little foot.
Yeah, then that was Josh. Yeah, Josh's foot was there, and then the guy and the chick who tried to leave earlier he's basically a bird feeder now. It was disgusting because he's still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they cut his back open and have his lungs like pinned up or whatever, and it's like the chickens are eating out of his back basically, and but his lungs are still compressing, so he's still breathing. It's fucking disgusting, but also genius to whoever came up with that shit.
Yeah,
It
but
looked
like
good,
Brad,
too.
what do you think of all this? You've been quiet there for a minute. Like, are you like just like have no words to say? Like you're just so starstruck of what the hell
No.
just
Yeah, dude.
happened? Or
I'm
you
sorry.
just surprised by Chris's
No,
story? But
no, I was rolling with it, man. I was rolling with it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought like it was one of the most unique scenes I think I've ever seen in all my film watching career. And it was just like it came out of like it's building up to this moment where they're like, okay, here's your girl, you gotta go after her. And what he did, it's like he's almost floated into it, and it was fucking crazy. It was so uncomfortable to watch in the theater almost because it was like just freaking this full on, everybody's in there. You're going to go to town. You're going to get the push. Everything was fantastic. It was great. But it was only something that like it coming off the ending of Hereditary. I wasn't very much surprised. Like the ending of Hereditary where they go up to the treehouse and everybody's naked up there and it's like this whole fucking thing. It's again, it's kind of relates to that. And it was pretty wild. And then at that point, obviously shit hits the fan, like you guys have already mentioned. Danny walks in, she starts freaking out. Rainer starts freaking out. He runs out, dick swinging, just like your boys in Joyride when they go to the diner, dick singing. They go out there, and then he goes, yeah. Just recapping what you just said, he goes to the feeder thing, crazy shit, naked the whole time, and he gets caught by your homeboy, whatever his name was, one of the main guys there. And yeah, I mean, my overall opinion on it is that it's all that whole sequence there is so unique and fresh to the horror genre that I'm just like, you know what? I like it. I dig it. I think that you went above and beyond here to make something that really stands out. And yeah, it's bonkers. It makes you feel uncomfortable, and that's what the goal was.
yeah, and speaking of uncomfortable, I gotta ask you guys because when you say you all saw this movie together at theaters, you both had your wives with you. What in the hell were they thinking, or like what were your wives thinking during this, like about the art of the push?
I immediately, and I wanted to speak to that uncomfortability that he was talking about because I was sitting there kind of like biting my nails. I was like, God damn, I mean, do you mind? Like, I could maybe use a little bit of help. You know what I mean? I was like, can I get a push? From my Aunt Edna.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, I don't think that either of them. My wife is not a lover of horror movies, so she pretty much watched over half of this with her eyes closed. And I don't think Brad's wife really. I think she liked it.
She liked the movie, yeah.
Yeah, as much as we did.
Yeah, she quite dug the movie. I thought she enjoyed it. She might have liked it even more, honestly. Like she really had a good time with it. And yeah, it's just everything. It was that one moment there, that one moment that Danny really needed to know that this guy is not for you, and you got to move on, and you got to go on to your new family, which is what she's about to do, ladies and gents.
Yeah, like the final step of her evolution, or like from what I understood for pretty much the most of this movie, it's kind of like her rebirth into a brand new person.
Yeah,
yeah. It's always been her story from the very beginning. I mean, all the creepy shit aside. I mean, in its simplest form, it's really the whole movie is about her journey. It just happens to be in a really
and to cleanse her.
Situation.
Yeah, and that's what they like the village did. Like they kind of cleansed her from all the bad, like with her, like her sister and her parents and all that, and from Christian, and then like she's now just like this brand new person, like at the end of the movie. So let's talk about the end of the movie. This is where we finally get like to know the reasoning behind the bear.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, because like towards the middle of the act, like there's this bear in the cage, and asks, what's the bear for?" I was like, "Oh, I'm not worried about the bear."
If I had $1 million, bare naked ladies, fucking cut that out.
This will go back to the beginning of the movie. One of the first scenes of the whole movie actually shows a painting on the wall of a bear being burned or being something. It's some kind of weird ass. It's like the girl turning like standing up to the bear. Essentially, is what the painting shows, and it all comes back to this ending sequence here, which is what we get. Where so Jackie runs into the bird feeder, the chicken feeder situation, and then it cuts to essentially him getting decked out in a bear costume, which is actually a real damn bear, and the bear's gutted out, and he's getting thrown into it, and he's like, he's got his face, and he's still fucking like at this point he's
yeah, they really
hold
drugged
on,
him. Like they did a paralyzing drug where like he can't move his muscles, but he knows what's still going on.
We actually skipped the scene.
Ooh.
Because after he is captured at the bird feeder and all that, we see Josh's legs and all that. Danny's freaking out. It cuts back to Danny, yeah. And this is when the effects are the heaviest. Whenever she's having dinner, and yeah, this is what I want to talk about. The where the chicks were moaning like in unison, and they were like, "There's a sense of community." I was talking about when Danny runs into the after she runs out of there, the girls follow her that were at the table, follow her into the room where she was staying, and she collapses. She has a panic attack, and this we were talking about earlier when she has the meltdown. I actually think this was the highlight of Florence Pugh's performance. Whenever she has the panic attack inside the room, and all the chicks are there, and she's crying, she's freaking out, she's hyperventilating, and all the chicks there, like all at once, start crying with her. You guys remember this scene?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was so loud in the theater. Like this was anxiety inducing as all hell for me. Also very cathartic for some odd reason for me. I don't know why. But I think the anxiety portion of it, you know, was just about it being so loud and shit. Like they're yelling. You guys remember the scene I'm talking about?
100%.
No,
yeah,
I know exactly. Like it's like the scene from the trailer.
And but some oddly, it's calming for her. So it's like, you know, there's this real sense of community, you know, and she's like just witnessed Christian being a piece of shit. He's not there for her anymore. And now like all these people are sharing her experience. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then
like they were helping her calm down. Like and she learned like then it's like, hey, this village is actually there for me.
Yeah.
This is where she gains her family right here. It's like she's the whole movie. She's had this piece of shit Christian there, not supporting it all, and then all of a sudden, all of these ladies are here, and they're
willing
feeling
to share her experience.
Yes. Yeah, and she's feeling, and they're feeling it alongside with her, and that's really her whole arc here is at this moment.
Right. Yeah. This is really the tail end of it for her, and then we cut to the table, right? And everyone is like waiting to eat or whatever, you know. And that's when the effects are the heaviest. Whenever like everything is all twirling around, like the table is moving around and everything. And so she picks up her fork or whatever it is, you know, and then they're all like comfortable eating, and she knows that she's like, you know,
she's the May Queen.
Yeah,
and they did the big ritual thing, like who's going to be sacrificed and who's going to be.
And that was what it actually reminded me, because I was thinking he doesn't instantly get into the bear because they actually have him paralyzed in that chair. Remember,
in the wheelchair,
and he's like coughing around or what the fuck ever, and they're like, okay, we need this many people to do this, and Pella's brother is like, oh, I volunteer to be burned, and I think they give Danny a choice. Like she can choose someone.
And she chose Christensen.
Yeah, she's like, you can choose to do this, or we're gonna burn this motherfucker. And she's like, sad, you know, sad face, and she's like, no, I'll burn him. And I think that's what I was talking about. Even in the theatrical cut, like I don't think you really feel anything bad about, you know, Christian being burned, but I think it's amplified in the director's cut where you're like,
yeah, I agree.
On her side, yeah,
just helps a little bit. But and then, yeah, buddy, then we're having ourselves a bonfire.
All right, yeah. Which again, great cinematography there with that building, the yellow building out there in the field and everything out there. I know there's a scene there where you can actually see the freaking tracks from the cameras they were using out in the field, but we'll get beside that point. That's not a big deal. It was great, man. And yeah, the whole thing with the bear, he wakes up, he's paralyzed, and he's getting put in the bear suit, and he's sitting in there with his buddies. Another good moment. Whenever they light the fire in there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, take this. You won't feel a thing." But wrong, they did, and they're freaking in there.
Yeah, so that was bullshit.
And then everybody outside starts to scream too. Again, it's kind of similar to earlier. They're feeling the pain with these guys that are in there burning up, and it was another cool little sequence, another uncomfortable moment. And it was just, again, the effects were great. The fire was fantastic. They actually feel like they're in a burning room. It doesn't feel CGI fest. and just to see that in as as the audience to see the inside of that room as it's burning and these guys' reactions to them catching on fire. It's another terrifying moment, I think, and it was done very well there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was like cinematography like was at its highest point with that last act in the burning building and all that, and kind of like showing all the humans getting set, all the people that are in that room getting caught on fire and all that. I thought it was just great work, and then of course the last shot of Danny just heard like wickedly smiling.
That's where she gets it, man. That's where that's where everything's capped off.
Where it just comes to a complete circle of her transformation to a brand new person. Like, and that smile, like, what's the proof of it?
And I don't know if anyone had picked up on this before, but Pella, obviously is talking to her about how, they took him in and they were his new family and all this. And way earlier, he says, my parents died in a fire.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So there's some reason. I mean, I think to believe that maybe he was in her situation, like he was an outsider who got brought in.
Oh, dude, I never thought about that. That makes the movie better.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a nice nod there. And then I think that bringing things full circle, I think this is full catharsis for her, where she's like, she begins to smile. She's still crying, like whenever the building's burning, and then it kind of cuts back to her crying, and then she begins to smile. I think is where she's just like, well, fuck Christian, he's gone now. I don't have to feel bad about him anymore, and these people are, open and willing to accept me and love me.
I think you're bang on right there, man. It was a good ending, man, and it was. Yeah, it built up to that awesome moment where she finally realized that she's found her family, even though they're kind of weird, but nonetheless, she is where she needs to be, and she's good to go.
Yeah, so you're like, and that's the great thing about this ending too. You're not sure if you're supposed to feel happy for her or just like still sad, just because like of everything she's just been through. Like, does she truly want to be there and all that? So, like, kind of like little mixed emotions towards the end.
She definitely wants to be there by the end of it. I mean, she's totally found her happy place. And at the end of the day, she doesn't really care. Her family's gone. Christian's an asshole. He's gone. All of his friends are completely pointless to her. She doesn't need those guys. Like, she didn't like him. She's finally found her family and people that will support her no matter what. And she's happier than she's ever been in her life. And I think it's a nice moment for her, even though, again,
pretty fucked up, but
yeah, that's pretty much the magic word about this whole movie.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, but I mean, it's also, I mean, there's some amount of catharsis there that you feel for her, where you're like, like you alluded to, her family's gone. Now Christian's gone. All of his deadbeat friends are gone. Like, these people accept me. They love me. Fuck it. It's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
they're fucking weird, but yeah.
That's been a good time.
Yeah, dude. But all in all, I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of it. But I do remember, like, when we left the theater, I was it took a little bit to digest it. You know what I mean? I was like, I enjoyed the ride, but it was difficult to know what it all meant. That's why I immediately delved into like research, where I was like, I've got to know what the fuck some of this stuff meant, because there's a lot of symbolism and shit in there.
Like, this takes multiple viewings. Like, I do suggest that like 2 or 3 viewings to like really kind of get what's going on.
Soak in the knowledge, But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a beautiful horror film. It's just one thing that we haven't really mentioned yet is the whole thing is shot at daytime. Not a single. I mean, I think maybe when Josh goes to get the book, it might be a little.
Yeah, that happened at the night, but yeah, for the most part, it was shot in the day. And usually with the horror movies, all the bad stuff happens at night. So it's a really good, like, different, like, just something different into the horror genre.
It's a great contrast between, but like you said there, Brett, like everything going on is a great contrast to what you're seeing on screen with the flowers and the daylight and everything in between. Like, it's It's a unique film. The story's been done before, sure. The whole fish out of water Wicker Man story, like it's been done before. Like we've seen similar stories, but this one's done. It's just I don't know. It's got a little bit of a unique flair to it. I think it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus
Absolutely.
the acting doesn't hurt either. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you hate
Oh, the acting
the
was
character
great.
of Christian, but I think Jack Rayner was great, and especially Florence Pugh was amazing. I don't think if she wasn't so great, if she couldn't carry it, then it wouldn't have
It would have not worked.
yep,
Yeah,
100%.
and like you
Yeah.
said at the very beginning, Bert, it's a little long, really. I remember you thinking that it is for a horror movie. It is a tad long, but the slow burn I think kind of serves this story pretty well. Excuse me.
It does.
It really it does. I feel like the slow burn had a good payoff at the end of the day. So I was really impressed with this movie. I liked it better on my second time watch with the director's cut. But yeah, I don't think it's worth the director's cut. Just to be honest with you, I think you could get your time, like worthy of your time with the theatrical cut. And I had a really good time, and I do really suggest this movie to everybody.
Me too, especially if it's kind of your thing. Like some people, it might not be your thing. Honestly, like I know people who absolutely fucking hate this movie, and I get it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody. It's definitely not the most rewatchable movie in the world. Even for people like me, I actually really enjoyed the movie. It's still not one that I'm watching all the time. It's just something I got to be in the mood for.
Like once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while, but it's totally. I mean, it's fantastic filmmaking, and at the end of the day, it's a solid movie.
So I hope that Joaquin Phoenix, whatever they're cooking up, him and Ari Aster cooking up for that next one, buddy.
I'm so looking forward to that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait, man. Anything that's got a push in there, fucking count me in.
The art of the push. So, before we get off here, guys, if you were to try to do a movie rating at this, the good real movie rating system, how would you rate this movie?
On the Goodwill system?
Yeah, like I would give this a 4 out of 5.
That's what my score is too. I think that I enjoyed Hereditary more, but I think this has a lot going for it. I just for the reason of it being long and not very rewatchable, I give it a 4.0.
Fucking
there you go.
I wanted to be different, but that's exactly what I was going to say. I should have spoke up first. Yeah, I was gonna give it a 4, honestly. But I will say though, it's probably on par with Hereditary for me. I don't think I like one over the other. Hereditary was a little bit more surprising, I guess. Maybe I'd give it a little bit of a nod ahead, but I do like this one quite a bit.
You said head for Hereditary.
Yeah. And he's quick with a joke to light up your smoke.
Oh gosh. But yeah, there we go. We got 3-4, so that's usually Tosche station to go get some good old power converters, or in this case, just get some special tea weed.
I was going into Tosche station to pick up some power converters.
At the Tosche station, wherever your choice is, and guys,
just be careful, man.
That's like drink responsibly. That's our thoughts on Midsommar. I know we kind of went all over the place, but again, this movie went all over the place too. We had a really good time. This was a really good episode. Is there any last thoughts about Midsommar?
I got some last thoughts, but they're not about Midsommar. Have you heard about the phrase blue balls?
Yes. What about
these balls right here, they're ultra blue.
Chris, how do I even fucking reply to that?
You fucking cut it out. You cut it out and act like it never happened.
Yeah, we're going to cut that part out too. Sorry, Brad.
Wait, well, don't cut that out. That's actually a very good point, dude. That's a good point. Don't cut that out. Don't you dare cut that out.
All right, I'll keep it in. So, guys, what did you all think about Midsommar? Did you enjoy it kind of like we did, even though it really just freaked us out and just confused the hell out of us in some parts? Or are you on the side where you just really despise this movie? Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
All right, you are. If you want to have us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Twitter, Snapchat, Spotify, Apple freaking Podcast. Those links are in the description for you to find down below.
Absolutely, and to continue our journey with Beers with the Bros, because we got a lot of great topics that we are planning on doing. We're talking like doing Dr. Sleep, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and hell, we might even throw us
spoiler
another.
alert, dude. Come on, let's not.
We
Get,
must-
let's not. You got to tease them a little bit. I mean, let's not give away everything. You know, I mean, you
Oh,
can show
yeah.
your cock. You know, right off
Okay,
the
but what
bat.
about the Beverly Hills Ninja Watch? I
Now
feel
that's-
like that
that's
might be
not quick.
happening. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, to know when all that great content is available for Beers with the Bros, be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And, of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you know when that Beers with the Bros episode is up and ready.
And we will. See you guys later.
See you guys.